Welcome to Storytimer at Large, Cheryl A. Hughes. Cheryl A. Hughes was 32 in 1977. She was abducted late one night and found a few days later in another state. This is her story. Cheryl Anita Arrowwood was born on April 3, 1945. She grew up in Ohio. She married Donald Hughes in 1963, and they had 3 children. She worked at RCA in Circleville, Ohio. The RCA plant there manufactured glass for televisions. Her husband worked at the Chillicothe mill. They lived at 714 Main Street in Chillicothe. Cheryl went to pick up a pizza for her husband on late Saturday night on July 9th, 1977. She got off work at midnight at RCA in Circleville, so technically it was Sunday morning. Her husband was at work, and he was hoping she'd bring a pizza over for his break. She made it to Giovanni's Pizza at 104 East 2nd Street. Then she left there with the pizza at about 12:45 a.m. When she didn't make it to her husband with the pizza, he assumed that maybe she had had to stay at work and pick up another shift or some sort of overtime. And it was 1977, so there were no cell phones to send a quick text and let people know where you were or ask, how's it going? Where are you? Cheryl's vehicle was found outside of town on Walnut Creek Road to the east of Chillicothe in a rural area. Perhaps someone came upon it and when it was empty with the keys in it and went for a joyride, maybe? Not sure. The pizza and drinks, her wallet with $45 in cash, and her purse were still in the van when it was found at 1:30 a.m. on Sunday. Perhaps someone had tricked her into pulling over. Some killers were known to pull up next to a potential victim at a stoplight and tell them something was wrong with their car or their tire and offer to help fix it. It's hard to know exactly what happened, how she was abducted. And who took her car to that second location, left her van at that second location. But there is someone that I suspect in this case. Ralph Richard Howell was delivering the bulk Sunday newspapers to Chillicothe, this is what I think, on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, when he encountered Cheryl Anita Hughes. I think he followed her and possibly tricked her into pulling over. I think he abducted her, sexually assaulted and murdered her, and then dumped her body in Greenup County, Kentucky, on early Sunday morning, July 10, 1977. Asphyxiation was listed as the cause of death in news reports from the time. So I'm wondering if rope was used. Cheryl A. Hughes was found there in Greenup County in Kentucky, just south of Portsmouth, Ohio. And south of the town of South Shore, Kentucky, on the Kentucky side of the Ohio River, on July 10th, 1977. Why do I suspect Ralph Richard Howell? In 2022, he was found to have murdered Cheryl Thompson in 1977. She was abducted, assaulted, and strangled. He's suspected of strangling several other victims with rope. One victim in 1983 escaped, and this is her story. The victim said she was on the side of the road with car trouble. Ralph Richard Howell pulled over and offered her a ride. He was in a truck that delivered bulk shipments of Cincinnati Enquirer newspapers. She refused to get into his vehicle, but he kept insisting. He said things like, "I'm not an animal. I won't hurt you. You don't have to be afraid. Come on." The coercive goading wore her down, and so she got in. As soon as she was in the truck, he had a rope around her neck and was strangling her. She fought, and she also managed to frantically talk to him and beg for her life. She also asked him if he had a wife. He said yes. She asked if he would want someone to do this to his wife. He said no. He eventually let her out. She went to the police and reported her story. Ralph Richard Howell was then charged with abduction and attempted rape, but he was able to plead down to only a misdemeanor of unlawful restraint. That was in 1983. Howell is also suspected in the murders of Nancy Ann Theobald, Charmaine Stola, Victoria Hincher, and potentially several other young women. Nancy Ann Theobald was taken from Cincinnati but was found in eastern Ohio. She was strangled and a rope was left around her neck. Howell drove a truck delivering newspapers all over Ohio and northern Kentucky, just across the river from Cincinnati. I think he realized early on in his criminal activity that investigators were less likely to connect him to a crime if he took the victim far away into another jurisdiction. Ralph Richard Howell died in a car accident in 1985 in Kenton County, Kentucky. Of course, as we know, that's just across the Ohio River from Cincinnati. I wonder what the circumstances of that car accident were. I wonder if anybody was in the vehicle with him. Was he traveling through there as part of work? Not sure. I couldn't find an article regarding the car accident. I did submit a tip to the Greenup County Sheriff's Office about Cheryl Hughes' case. Perhaps it was not Ralph Richard Howell who abducted and assaulted and murdered her in this case, but hopefully, if it was, perhaps this might help them solve her case. I could be wrong. There were many other killers and serial killers in Ohio and the Midwest in the 1970s, but Ralph Howell seems a likely suspect in this one. Rest in peace, Cheryl Anita Arrowwood Hughes. You deserved a long life with your family. I cannot imagine what life has been like for your family without you. And I hope that you rest in peace. If you have information about Cheryl Hughes' case, please contact the Greenup County Sheriff's Office at the web link that I will put in the comments of this video. Thank you for listening.